protests. The protests are exactly for the same reason. We don't have jobs. Things are too expensive. We don't have places to live. We don't have money to study. Our future looks very bleak. So they've taken to the streets and shopkeepers have joined them. And then what happens? That's the thing that Trump making a big mistake. With Iran being as radical, entirely I agree, and powerful, happy birthday. Let's get one thing clear. They've been saying that Iran cannot build a nuclear bomb. We will not let them build a nuclear bomb. America has been saying this all along. Then many European countries got together, discussed with Iran, the deal fell through, then it came again, then it fell through, then it came again, then it fell through. And very recently, Iran booted out the International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors and said, go to hell, we are going to do what we want. The issue here is the one nation in its neighborhood, the neighborhood of Iran, which will never allow it to have an atom bomb, is not Israel. Israel is not in the neighborhood, it's 1,800 kilometers away, it's Pakistan. Because Pakistan's only claim to fame today is the fact that it's the sole Muslim country that has a borrowed, begged, stolen nuclear bomb. That's all. It won't allow anybody else in the Islamic community. Now, in attacking Iran, what is Trump doing? Trump has always said, and the Americans have always said this ever since their darling, the Shah, was booted out in 1979, and the mullahs came. The Americans then encouraged Iraq to attack them. They fought a 10-year war. After that, things have never been calm between Iran and the United States. So let me tell you something. 1978, the year before the Shah fled, there were demonstrations against him, led by people who said, Mr. Shah, you and your coterie are great guys. You have a lot of money. You are importing weapons. You're importing foreigners to maintain those weapons. You are building everything, but our stomachs are empty. Plus, you are corrupt. Plus, you are not delivering on the promises that you made to us. And so they got very, very upset. The people, they took to the street. What did the Shah do? He had a secret police called the Savak. I know those jokers. They took off in American helicopters. Listen to this carefully. This was in 1978. And what did they do? They shot the protesters. 10,000 died on a particular Friday. It's called Black Friday in 1978. That didn't help. And then, of course, the tsunami came. It swept away the Shah. He ran from pillar to post. He asked the Americans help. They said, we never heard of you. He was their darling. All kinds of funny things happened. Now, the secret police of the Shah, Savak, was transformed into the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. And they are the people who are protecting the mullahs. And what are the mullahs doing to contain the protests? The protests are exactly for the same reason.
Trump's eagerness to invade Iran has been quite understandable with his words, as time and again he has talked about the strong options he has in hand. But is the idea of attacking Iran going to be fruitful for the U.S.? Will it not impact America's economy, drain its resources militarily too? Will destabilizing Iran be an indirect attack on the Middle East? How will Trump do it all?
And there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it. And we're looking at some very...
Well, I think one thing President Trump is very good at is always keeping all of his options on the table, and airstrikes would be one of the many, many options that are on the table for the commander-in-chief. Diplomacy is always the first option for the president. He's told all of you last night that what you're hearing publicly from the Iranian regime is quite differently from the messages the administration is receiving privately, and I think the president has an interest in exploring those messages. However, with that said, the president has shown he's unafraid to use military options if and when he deems necessary, and nobody knows that better than Iran.
My message is do not repeat the same mistake that you did in June. If you try a failed experience, you will get the same result. And the determination also cannot be bound. Now, Iran proved to be ready for negotiation, for diplomacy. We have proved that in the past 20 years, in 2015, in 2025, every time. but it was the US who always escaped from diplomacy, who cut the diplomacy and opted for war. My message is, between war and diplomacy, diplomacy is a better way, although we don't have any positive experience from the United States, but still diplomacy is much better than war.
Exactly the same thing that the Shah's forces did, the IRGC is doing. Karl Marx had famously said, everything happens in history twice. The first time as tragedy, the second time as farce. A farce is being played out. These kids and the shopkeepers have taken to the streets because they are genuinely aggrieved. They are in trouble. They can't afford food on the table. The regime plays a nasty joke and says, we'll give $7 a month or some ridiculous amount like that to each family, so at least they can buy some meat and pasta. You don't throw this kind of thing at people who have no money, who are very angry. My own feeling is that Trump is going to attack Iran, because that's the one way when he says help is coming. And if he doesn't do it, he'll lose credibility. This is his one way of recovering whatever reputation, his tanking, cratering reputation in the world. This is one way of recovering it. I believe he will attack. He'll kick out the mullahs and some new regime. It doesn't have to be the son of the Shah of Iran who lives in New York, but out of the chaos. I've been 52 years in diplomacy. I know the regime will change, something new will emerge. Libya, the regime changed, chaos emerged. Syria, the regime changed. Well, there's some fellow now who claims to be in charge, but he's also facing a lot of difficulty. I've seen the same thing in Yemen. I've seen the same thing in Iraq. It takes a while, and then something will emerge. I don't know what that will be. Maybe an interim government, elections will be held. Many bright Iranians who are living overseas, they might come back, they might contest elections. That is something that will unfold very soon this year. But the mullah regime game is over. The aircraft of the Israeli Prime Minister, the aircraft is called Wing of Zion. It has taken off. Apparently, it's gone to Greece. And when that had happened in the past, there's an attack on a neighbor. So my own feeling is Iran has overplayed its cards. The mullahs think that they can attack America. They can't. They will hit Israel, and Israel will respond. America will hit them very hard. Their battle carrier groups are already on their way to the Caspian Sea. Now, you can see the signs. The mid-air refueling facilities are all there, etc., etc. So, Iran, mullah regime, assalamu alaikum. Goodbye. You're going.